Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books. Today we'll be taking a look at Writing into the Dark. Now with this book I will also be touching on how I'm using this book at the moment with a co-author. Otherwise, let's get into it. Number 10. The Book Success. The book is a USA Today bestseller. I have acknowledged that this book is starting to get more recognition now. There are more reviews with this book. I find looking at different parts of my past life with learning to write when I was younger and just going with a flow without an outline, that's one of the sub points to this topic, is writing without an outline. And you can be surprised what you can come up with if you don't have barriers and boundaries in your way. So if you are working or you have an idea on a book, remember Stephen King worked on Under the Dome and pushed the book to the side to not think about it, and then years later went back and just wrote because he's a pantser. That's what pantsers do. And then later on there was more success from that original idea. Number 9. Two voices in my head. What I mean by this, and it's within the book, using the different parts of your brain. When you are reading and writing, one of the big things to remember as this type of activity goes, you do use more areas of your brain. I'll get into that type of discussion at a later date, though that's important within this topic. And with the logical side of the brain, the critical voice will stop you from being creative, and the creative side of the mind will come up with ideas that the logical side cannot. I'll just break down a few points. Logical is not creative, keeps you safe, familiar grounds, causes writer's block, victim of circumstance. On the other side of the creative brain, you have insanely creative, it's easy to be suppressed, needs opportunity to work, random ideas may solve a problem that the logical side cannot. Number 8. Listen to your creative voice. This isn't easy to do for a lot of people, but take the time. Listen to your creative voice. Take some time out. And one thing you can do, go for a walk, listen to music. Sometimes different music will affect how your brain's thinking and working. That is something I'm trying to suggest within this channel. I found it to be quite useful to change your moods to help with your writing later. Take the time out and be with your thoughts. But more importantly, be with your creative thoughts, because you need to use your creative mind to break the boundaries of reality. Number 7. Random overthinking. This is a problem with the logical brain, and when you are in traumatic experiences, it is hard to not be in survival mode. One thing I found with pushing yourself into some of those situations and taking the time to write, you will be surprised how your creative brain can operate in other times of desperation. If you can't take at least 10 minutes, half an hour out of your day to write, you got a problem. You might have a multitude of problems. And sometimes a little bit of case noting, a little bit of paragraphing like we've talked about in the other video, you can use different methods that will help at a later date with your writing. As much as the world can seem chaotic in whatever you're going through, you can use that random overthinking and that chaos to project into something else creative. Number 6. Co-authors. I'm finding this journey to be exciting with the book that I'm working on with another person. I have that logical outlining brain, and that gets in the way sometimes to push out words, because I'm always thinking, I'm always structuring, I'm always outlining my books. With working on one book, it's handy to have that outline that I use, and then another person I'm co-authoring with. Because it's one book, it is also, I'm finding, a lot easier compared to it being a structured series, though her mind works in that creative way, so she can play on words and think extremely fast. With that sort of game of whose line is it anyway, where there could be some sort of acting or structure. She's quick on playing on words and getting into the setting. I have to take time to stop and think, and that doesn't progress forward with anything. I'm finding with this book, I'm appreciating the mind that a co-author has with using this structure, and I find this book has been effective for both of us to read it. Number 5, too much creativity. Now, this is one of the other problems. It's not writing the book, it's being in the creative mind for too long. I sometimes do this within my job because I do a bit of nursing and therapy work, so sometimes having a different way of behaving. Now, my job is not necessarily like you would depict in the movie Patch Adams. It's not quite like that. With what I'm doing around co-workers or other people that I work with, it's being creative to be loose. Now, there is another problem. I have also been creative while I was writing Dark Sparrow. And one of the biggest problems was I was also thinking in character at times in my professional life, where the creative brain was taking over too much, to the point I introduced myself on different occasions as 4 different characters, and both male and female, to be honest. This type of creativity is effective, though it's being able to switch off the creative mind when you need to switch off your creative mind. Sometimes I also do like the creativity within my personality, where I do tell a lot of egg jokes and dad jokes. It depends on what I'm dealing with in the interactions I have with others. Number 4, Michael LaRon. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel at the end of the video. He has also reviewed Riding into the Dark. He has changed his life since reading the book. Now, I'm still in a developing phase with the book. He has taken this book and it's changed his life. He does heaps of videos on Power Writing Hour. The amount of words he can come out with, and a lot of the books that he writes, he doesn't need as much of an outline. Though what he has said from how this book has changed his life, he has reached that next level as an author. As I was saying with my co-author, on another project we're working on, I am a lot slower, structured. She's not. She's faster with words. And it is all different levels of experience that we have. And one thing I also want to say with writing books, you don't have to do the whole book yourself. You can learn from other people, and you can have other ways of finishing your book without being left in the dark. Number 3, Affirmations.
I don't have time to pray that much every day.
But you apparently have time to fight losing battles with your husband.
One part of the creative mind is to research different topics to create affirmations for yourself. One movie I loved was The War Room. And not everyone agrees with Bible verses, though with what the character's doing, you can create your own affirmations, your own ways of helping to break out of whatever struggles that you're having. So it's that saying, keep telling yourself it's only going to get better, or it's only going to get worse. Affirmations are a good way to keep your writing journey on track. Now, within the creativity, or what I've learnt within this book, when you are looking and researching, as I'm starting to do more with the YouTube, I'm finding more information, and it's all working in different ways, or I'm getting a better grasping understanding of different subject matter. Within regards to affirmations, you can have that creative part of the brain to break the norms of reality around you. You may have a diary that you go to, you might have a room within your house, or whatever you need to use affirmations that give you that little reminder of something every day to get into that creative mind and break the walls of reality. Number 2, outlining. Even after reading this book, as inspirational as it is, for some books that I'm working on, I will take longer to write the books. I feel it needs more meaning and information within the book, so I will stick to outlines with that type of book. There are different methods to outlining, where if I was transitioning into writing a book series like with Goosebumps and producing a book every month, I would be recommending this book as a way to break those walls and barriers to write. As far as a structured novel goes, or a bigger, deeper story, I will stick to an outline. However, some of the methods I have learned from doing this has allowed me to get back into enjoying writing, enjoying reading, and I am also enjoying making videos about these types of subjects. Number 1, 3 projects. For the year 2023, I am working on 3 projects. One book is the sequel that more people would be familiar with, is the follow-up to Dark Sparrow. I have an outline for this book. I'm so far through it already, and there are a few things that I've completely scrapped with the book, and that's where sometimes the overthinking and over-structuring has not worked well for the book. I have also spent too much time focusing into the other books ahead to the 7th book, and that creative mind has also taken over past the points of logic, so bringing the logical mind into play, I need to bring it back to the focusing on the 2nd book and keep going ahead, though I do need the structure and I need the outline. For the other books ahead, I don't know if this method is going to work for me, and that's just being personal. With my romantic comedy, it's currently titled Colin and Charlene. With this book, I have written more into the dark with this book. I have talked to people I'm referencing within the characterization, and a lot of things that I've learnt about, I need to just write to get some points down and then focus on changing the story from there. I still have some structure, not as much of an outline for this book, and it's mostly because there's not any intention to be a sequel from this book. It's just a standalone romantic comedy on how 2 characters come together. With my 3rd book that I'm working on and co-authoring with, the Who Didn't Want to Celebrate Christmas, this book has been inspired to be written. Now, I have some level of an outline for the book. With the beats method, my co-author is working on that method where there are different fragments of what she is just writing and coming up with, and I'm taking what she's done with all these different packages of paragraphs or poems and gone, I know how I can put this into the book relevant to the subject matter. So within the outline, there is a different way where she has her creative mind. As I've previously said, she can play on words fast, and I can work with that. I also am too structured, where she hasn't quite written a book as much. So the 2 minds working together will create an interesting Christmas story. Otherwise, that's it for today. Hit like, subscribe, comment. I will be posting more about different videos on writing, case studies, and other creative videos, because we need to work on the creative mind with everything we're moving forward with our writing. There are all different age groups within this channel. Thank you all for your support, and if you do have some struggles with some writing questions or like me to touch on a subject, please email me, andrewcasey@hypersanitybooks.com, and I'll see you all in the next video.